So we have to be leaders, and being leaders means taking responsibility when things are not right and when you're complicit in it. And I hate to say it, but my Republican colleagues have been complicit in this misinformation. There were several lawsuits filed, several independent jurisdictions looking at claims. They all consistently said there was no voter fraud in Pennsylvania. These same lawsuits were filed in several states. So at one point, perhaps they really believed that there was election fraud, but these courts who have no connections to the outcomes, they're independent. We have an independent judiciary. Even the Supreme Court of the United States have consistently said the same thing. There has not been fraud. So I was very disappointed going into this new year where I consistently had colleagues challenging the outcome of the election, not challenging the outcome of their elections. And we're all on the same ballot, so it's clear to the viewers, but challenging the outcome, and look at what it has stirred up. People who are truly warped in these lies. It's a web of misconception that the president started a while ago, and they've been a part of it. So now that they've seen what the worst is that we hope to never see again, let's stand up. Let's be leaders and let's move on. President Trump lost, just like Hillary Clinton lost, just like Mitt Romney lost, just like Dick Cheney lost. I mean, there's always a winner and a loser, but at some point you have to stand up and say, how do we move forward? We're still in a pandemic. Small businesses still need assistance. Families still need help to pay rent and put food on their tables. So let's get to the people's business right away.
Yeah, and that's the question. I feel like the people's business has gotten lost in all this. And I don't think you disagree with me. I think you and I have had conversations about this, about, when do we, as not, and I think, like you said, it's with the leaders, right? As a society, I feel like we can't move forward if our leaders aren't willing to move forward from really this mess that has been the election. And I guess it's a mess depending on where you sit, of whether it's the criticism of the election or if you felt like the election was a mess itself. How do we move forward as a society to make sure that Pennsylvanians, in our case, are taken care of?
To me, it offers the perfect window of opportunity. Sometimes when things go afoul and awry, it's not clear what to do. But we see here, things have gone incredibly wrong. To see terrorism unfold in front of all of our eyes in the entire world, and to see Americans doing it, it's just awful. It's absolutely awful. So the first thing the Senate needs to do is seat Senator Jim Brewster. He won the election, just like Joe Biden won the election. We have to be clear in our messaging. Perhaps there were challenges, there were inconsistencies that concern people that caused them to file lawsuits. That is all behind us. Let today be a new day where we're doing what's right and what voters have said they want. Voters in Pennsylvania overwhelmingly said they wanted Joe Biden. So we should have never challenged that. Unfortunately, people got involved in that web. Now let's move forward. How do we move forward? By being honest, by telling the truth, and by recognizing people are depending on us right now to help them in the lowest points in their lives. They're not looking to continue to battle the outcome of November the 3rd. It's January the 8th, and they need help. So we've got to be ready and willing to do it.
Yeah, then there was bipartisan agreement on some things. Prior to the pandemic, it's kind of been a mess since. Is there one thing that you could see yourself, saying, yeah, I'm on board with what Pennsylvania Republicans want to do here, or vice versa? I know, you could predict an area where you would think everybody would come together, but is there something right now that you've discussed with someone recently that you say, I'm already working with somebody who's a Republican on this, or there are areas that we specifically are focused on working together, because I think people need that reassurance that there is collaboration and that y'all can work together.
Absolutely. So there's not something I can specify this moment, but I have let my majority leader, Kerry Benninghoff, know I want to work with him. I want to sit down. I want to talk, whether it's virtual, whether it's in the Capitol, socially distanced. I am here. My colleagues are here. We want to resolve the issues that are going on. We want to start the healing. We want to put people first. We are not the ones who've been saying what happened, and we lost members. You didn't hear one Democrat say, oh, wait, something went wrong where we lost Chairman so-and-so. We understood the election. We have been the grown-ups, and we continue to be at the table waiting for them to come here, sit down, and talk to us so that we can get the work done. It's important now more than ever that we get people through this pandemic, get the vaccine out, make sure that the testing is accessible, that we look at what occurred last year and say, okay, that was awful and I was not responsible, but now let's get together and move forward.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is the pandemic, right? I mean, there has to be. I mean, there's people suffering in Lancaster County, just like there's people suffering in Philadelphia, just like there's people suffering in Pittsburgh and State College. I mean, at some point, there's got to be this recognition of our constituents are suffering because we can't work together. And it's not just Pennsylvania, but it's nationally. What is the message to the folks out there who are reluctant to work together?
So the message needs to be that we have to stop. I mean, I had a couple of minutes to give opening remarks on Tuesday before the awful violence unfolded on Wednesday. And what I told all of our colleagues was, just as we saw with the awful sudden passing of our caucus chairman from the majority party, Representative Reese, our life is fragile. And as our life is fragile, our democracy is fragile. So we must handle both with care, and we must take responsibilities to help the lives who are dependent upon us. You know, we only have 203 in our chamber and 50 in the other. They're not 12 million seats. We are holding the seats representing all of those voices. So we have to use this time, use it wisely, and come together and really be impactful.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, thank you for your time, as always.